Welcome to a special episode of Neek the Podcast presents a Fireside Chat with Todd and Kiku. Joining me today is Todd Oxtra from Secret Friends. You guys know him. He's been a guest on the show several times. How many times now, Todd?
I think this is number 3.
Number 3, all right.
Three's Company.
The Deuce, number 3.
That's right. And there is a fireplace in the back.
I know. Actually, you know what was funny? I was thinking about that today. I was like, God, we don't actually have a fireside. And then when you came on, I was like, all right, Todd has a fireplace because he's Richie Rich over there.
Well, one of the few times in Minnesota where you don't need the fireplace. It's a beautiful 88 degrees outside.
Oh, nice, nice. Today's topic, we were going to do something kind of funny. It was going to be Care Bears versus Ewoks. Who would win? But we had another topic come up, something that has been blowing up on the internet. All the E3 2015 leaks. And with that, Nintendo actually came out and made a special announcement, Todd. Did you know that?
Would it happen to be a special Smash Brothers announcement?
No, they're getting Mario and Luigi to fix all the leaks because they're little Italian plumbers.
Oh, they're plumbers.
They're
yes,
plumbers.
I forgot. How much do they get paid an hour?
I don't know. But for these leaks, hopefully a lot because there's a lot of them. Let's count them down. How many leaks, Todd, have you counted now for E3 2015?
A lot, and I'm excited about a lot of them. You know, it's the idiocy of some staff on the actual publishers that are actually doing this, and some it's just a lot of we put all this information on our website, and now people are just going into the code.
Yeah, some of it's just stuff leaking out. Bethesda made a boo-boo, it looks like, by tweeting out a little something about Dishonored 2.
Ooh, Dishonored 2, the game that broke my 360.
Why did it break your 360?
Every time I tried to play, it wouldn't save the game, and then it caused my 360 to reboot.
Oh, it's just so normal Bethesda stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I had to buy it on PC, and eventually I'll get around to playing it again.
All right. You know, actually 2015, Todd, talking about the E3 2015 leaks, there's been a lot of leaked stuff and a lot of stuff kind of spoiled this year, hasn't there?
Yes. One of my favorites, and I don't know if you saw this already, Kiku, was a genuine G1 Transformers video game by Platinum Games.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. And now Activision has confirmed it.
Well, they had to. I mean, it wasn't just like, you know, the title came out, somebody found it on a blog or anything like that. It was actual photos and stuff like that of the game. Descriptions.
Cell shading, 80s, Optimus Prime. Oh, delicious.
And Platinum, you know, it's going to be very action-oriented.
And hopefully it's better than the Avatar game they put out, which was, you know, people hope that would have been better because it's Platinum. But, you know, there's still hope.
That game was fun. And if you're an achievement hunter, that was an easy 1,000 points for you.
The original one or the one that came out just a year ago?
Oh, was there another one?
There was. Platinum did one. It looked beautiful. It looked just like the show. It was a Xbox Live PS3 download game. Maybe I think it was on PS4 as well. It just came out like last year, but it got mixed reviews. Some said it was a great game. Some said it was kind of broken, but it looked great.
That completely got by me, and I don't know how.
I forgot what it was called, but yeah, because I'm a big Avatar fan. It's probably one of my favorite animated series of all times. The movie, my son actually recorded the movie to watch.
We actually don't admit that that's a real thing on Neek the Podcast, Todd.
All of the white people playing Asians,
or the people from India playing the Fire Nation people. I don't understand that whatsoever.
So sad.
So what else was leaked? What else was spoiled before E3 could even start? We had Gears of War completely spoiled, both the remaster and a new game. What else was spoiled?
Let's see. We had all of the Smash characters, Ryu, and a few others leaked.
What else was there? There was something else.
Fallout 3 didn't get leaked. It just got released early. I mean,
Fallout 4?
Fallout 4.
Yeah. Actually, Bethesda kind of teased it last year a little bit, so you kind of knew it was coming, sort of, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Let's see. You know, I mean, guess we've got. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think what else was leaked early. that I'm having a brain fart. Any Sony? Microsoft is that. Nintendo, nothing really came out about that. Ubisoft.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the list for you right now.
Yeah, this is the uncomfortable pause.
We are so professional. I should have pulled this up earlier.
We're just awestruck. I think it's that delayed reaction.
Yes. And of course, Yahoo is freezing on me. Make noise for Todd.
Dun, 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 dun. Let me pull up Kotaku. Pull them up too.
No, we're not using Kotaku.
Oh,
Never
no?
use Kotaku.
No Polygon.
Arthur Keys.
Okay. Oh well. Let's see. Mother coming to Wii U as Earthbound Beginnings.
Oh yes. But they just announced that. I thought.
Oh, they've got some amiibo leaks.
Yeah, the amiibos leaked. Duck Hunt is coming for amiibos.
If you say that, you have to say that name carefully, Kiku.
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt.
Duck.
It's like Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt. Duck Hunt. Dark Souls 3 was spoiled. Completely spoiled. That's what it was.
The game that will make your mother cry.
The game that will make your mother cry. But I mean, this year really has been the year of leaks. I mean, and spoiled stuff. When you go back, you had the email leaks from Sony, right, with Amy Pascal. We've already seen Suicide Squad. If we put the set photos in the correct order, we've seen that movie. It's over and done with. They're starting to do that with Civil War. Someone just posted today in the Facebook group that they saw Black Panther in the outfit. And I refuse to click on that, sir. I refuse.
Yeah, that could ruin it for you. I mean, you're going to see that eventually anyways.
So, it's amazing that nobody is waiting for E3 to be like, oh, we should do this.
Well, I mean, I can understand why some things the companies would want to get out there early, just because there's so much news. You want a little bit of space. You want your property to be noticed, versus when there's a million articles coming out on IGN, whatever else, and I saw this game. You want something out there, but it's those unintentional. The Gears of War is probably the biggest one, because people were apparently playing it.
Well, they were doing the beta,
or they captured footage of it and showed it. I'm like, yeah, that's a little easy, and that's kind of expected, because they launched the Halo Master Chief Collection in advance of Halo 5. Well, yeah. We assume the next Gears coming out 2016.
That's true, but then again, nobody was too sure if the new Gears game was going to be even made, or even still, E3, that event specifically is made to wow and shock people. Like, oh my God, they announced this! Oh my God, they announced that! And it's just why are these people spoiling it for everybody? Bethesda didn't need to spoil, if it was an accident or if it wasn't. Dishonored 2, that would have been a game that would have made headway. They have their own part of the event. Everything's going to be about them. They're not going to have to fight against anything. It's not like when Microsoft does their announcements or their announcement portion of the event, and they have 90 games and they're trying to fit everybody in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this year it seems like everybody has their own conference anyways. I mean, yeah. You don't have to worry about third parties. Every major third party is going to have their own conference, so they have their own time to shine to a certain extent. Bethesda starts tonight, then we go to Microsoft in the morning, Sony at night. Is EA in the middle?
I believe so.
Then we have Nintendo the next day, and then Square Enix moved out of the way of Nintendo, and we have Square Enix. Activision doesn't do an event. They don't do a press conference. They do their own thing. It's like four games.
Yeah, but when Call of Duty's your flagship game, you really don't need an event. It's just you just say Call of Duty, 15. It's going to be out, and everybody goes crazy.
Yeah, and somebody will show it at their conference, and I've heard rumors that it's going to be Sony this year that takes on the exclusivity for Call of Duty. Sony most likely will have the exclusivity with Destiny again. They'll probably extend that. And I'm thinking, if we think about this, Microsoft is going to they're going to have some announcements with the other third parties, but I'm thinking they're going to do something with Battlefront. What do you think?
Probably. It'll probably be Xbox exclusive. That wouldn't surprise me with the companies that are actually working on the Star Wars games. Although now that Star Wars is under that Disney umbrella, it could possibly be all platforms. You know what I mean? Because Disney wants to obviously get out to everybody. Microsoft had something spoiled and leaked for them with their new 1 terabyte hard drive Xbox One. Sony is actually the only one that I think hasn't had anything spoiled for them.
Nope, we have not. I mean, we had the Nathan Drake collection, I think, had been rumored, but they got out in front of that, I think, just to say it's coming out.
It's coming out, yeah.
And I think that's really smart. A lot of the no-brainers or the things that you expect, get them out of the way. And I think most of them have, so you can really focus on the big surprises. But yeah, Sony's been the leak queen, the Titanic. What do we want to call it? I mean, anything else that leaks? Gilligan's Island, their boat probably leaked a lot too.
Dudes at the VD clinic.
The drip and the leak, bring in a plumber. A genital plumber. Kiku.
A genital plumber. There you go. But it's actually maybe it's a culture thing too, because Square Enix hasn't had anything ruined for them or leaked out, right? It's all been rumors or Square Enix just saying what they're going to have. Nintendo doesn't really have any leaks, like ever. The Amiibo leak I don't really count because that's
they have to have like manufacturing information out there on the Amiibos. So that's probably easier. You're going to say you've got to actually construct something at the factory versus a disc where, when they press that disc, it's so far in advance.
Exactly. American companies are the ones that are really getting stuff leaked out right now. Big time. The Japanese ones, no leaks.
Especially after, all the Sony hacks. You'd think there would have been more.
Yeah. That's the thing is the Sony hacks were the American side of Sony. That's why we know all this stuff about Sony Pictures. We don't really know anything about the video game still because they're like, no, we don't let the Americans know anything about that. Keep it below the surface.
Yeah, because Square Enix, we really don't know. We expect to see. Well, Tomb Raider's probably going to be focused at Xbox, right? Because that's one of their exclusives. Beyond that, there's been a lot of conjecture about Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy, 15. I don't know about that one because the demo's out there. It's getting updated. We kind of know what that game is. I don't know what else they can talk about except it's coming out 2016.
Well, supposedly they have an unannounced game coming out or that they're going to talk about. They haven't said what kind of game it is or anything like that. They have some deals with some other companies to do publishing for Worm and whatnot. One of the biggest rumors is that they're actually going to announce Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's going to be this Christmas.
The otakus would go insane.
I would go insane. Are you kidding me? I would actually shut my laptop. I would go straight to GameStop, and I would order that video game. I would pre-order, pay it all off. I wouldn't even care. I'm done.
I need to catch up on all the Kingdom Hearts fan fiction before I can really play the game and do it justice.
Now you only have to play number 1, number 2, and number 3. All that other Nintendo DS, PSP stuff.
365 over 12 days of night.
I have a female friend who has been trying to play them now for like 6 years, and she's just like, "Well, don't you want to know the whole story?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good."
I loved 1 and 2. I loved 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is amazing. But I don't know if that's true. Like, I actually think if they're going to announce a game to come out, it's going to be Final Fantasy 15 because we have the demo, and the demo's been updated and added more stuff to it. So when they initially announced the demo and it released it, they said it was 60% done. We have not seen one thing except for that small teaser trailer they showed. Was it E3 last year, the Tokyo Game Show or something like that? Yep. That showed a little bit of the gameplay and a little bit of the cinematics, but nothing else. And that's what I'm saying. Square Enix is like a vault. You cannot get any leaks from Square Enix.
And this is like their first Final Fantasy announcement. And there's a lot of goodwill towards 15 right now. There is.
Yes.
People are totally impressed with that game. I'm excited. People are paying $30 for the demo alone because, you had to buy Type 0, which you can get probably cheap now, but still people are paying for the demo. And I really want to try it because it looks fantastic.
Did you read? I wrote an impression piece on 15.
And I read that. It was really impressive. It got me more excited about the game. I'm excited where they're going.
It's definitely not Final Fantasy as you know it, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. You know what I mean? It's more westernized for sure. I would really like that. That's probably one game that I would like to see some E3 2015 leaks on. Like, give me more information about it. I want to know it.
Well, and that's a good thing. They have a lot of time on their hands at their press conference. Yeah. So they have time to talk about it. And if it did come out this fall, I mean, there's not many games like that coming out. We have Xenoblade Chronicle X, and that's it. There's nothing really else that's like that game. Maybe Persona 5?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're talking about the JRPG space, yes. However, this is a more westernized game. Like, you when you play it, you'll be like, am I sure that Square Enix made this? Like, this is more West, so much more West. And in that aspect, I think you could actually put it up against Fallout 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, those audiences don't always cross over, but it's good to have, a little bit of variety. I liked Fallout 3, got frustrated with it, love Skyrim, but I haven't played a real, and the combat, it seems like, is enough different than Fallout 4, most likely once we see actually how Fallout 4 plays. But assuming it's like Fallout 3 with the VAT system and things like that, there's going to be people that prefer the Final Fantasy 15 take.
I actually think that they're going to speed up the combat for Fallout 4. So I don't think that's something we're going to have to worry about, because even I'll admit that combat at times was really clunky in 3. But then again, you got to remember that's the first time that Bethesda tackled it. Now they've got, that game underneath their belt, and they've got Skyrim, Skyrim was that game that kind of merged the old way of playing and the new streamlined way of playing, and everybody just loved it. So you'll probably see that more in Fallout 4. 15 is going to be so much more action-packed than, I think, since you haven't played the demo, it's so much more action than anything. Like, it's just, you are constantly hitting buttons to fight.
The last Final Fantasy type game I played was Type 0. I didn't enjoy it, but I think mainly because that was an old PSP game that they ported up,
yes,
HDified, and I didn't care. The camera control was horrible. It was all over the place. And there was some really I used to love anime. Today, I don't love as many of the tropes of it, but there was just some really bad dialogue, and I'm assuming, Kiku, I haven't played 15. I haven't seen much of the dialogue pieces, more of the action pieces. I'm assuming they've got a better, team with the translation and things like that.
Well, for the demo, the dialogue is pretty atrocious.
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's
okay.
It's JRPG, a dialogue. I mean, I guess that's the trade-off for having a really unique look at Final Fantasy. That's the trade-off. But again, it's a demo. They said that they were changing some things about it anyway. So I don't know. I'm not, I even said that I'm not basing what I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to be when it comes out, because that was a big complaint of what people were saying about the game was the dialogue. And then the random chick in a bikini fixing your car, which was just like unnecessary. But getting back to the leak side of the conversation,
sorry, that was me on a segue.
Yeah, we were tangential right there. It was just, let's walk off. But like I was saying before about all of these leaks, do you think that this is going to continue for the rest of the nerd community, for the rest of nerd time, that we are constantly going to be seeing people break non-disclosure agreements, that we're going to be seeing people post stuff that they shouldn't post, or go to a movie set and take all these pictures and post them up?
It's the me first posting mentality. Everybody wants to get known because they broke a story.
Sure.
And even nobody really remembers who broke the story. That's the thing. That celebrity is so just ephemeral. It doesn't last because nobody remembers it was, Cool Dude 2257, which is my favorite name on the internet. Nobody remembers him. It just remembers the information that gets out, and then somebody elaborates on it and goes from there, and it gets its own life. So everybody loves that. I mean, think about the Fantastic Four. All of those leaks on Fantastic Four, the really bad CGI of Doctor Doom, we talked about that, and it gets us ravenous because we want more information. We've never, I mean, I grew up, and you grew up in a time of, you got a star log every month back in the day, and that's all the information you got. And then eventually you got bulletin boards in college and things like that. Somebody got a script and then they scanned it and put it on the internet. So yeah, this is only going to get worse and worse. And then I hear people like talking on Facebook, please no spoilers. I'm like, you live on the internet, you're on Facebook, get off Facebook and we'll look away, because it's just going to happen. Get mad at people if you want, but it's just going to happen. And you have to choose whether or not you want to know.
Well, I mean, we actually talked about this on Neek before. And one of the things I brought up that I think does make a valid point is, if you're a podcast host like you and I are, living on the internet is kind of the thing we do. And there should be some sort of courtesy. But I mean, no, I'm not even talking about like among your friends and whatnot, but IGN is reporting on leaks and set photos and this and that. And you have like Suicide Squad's my favorite one to go back to, because David Ayer started it, the guy who's directing the film, by just releasing all these set photos, constantly putting stuff out there and then going, I'm going dark. You're not going to see any more stuff. Literally the next day, there was more set photos from other people.
Eventually, if you take all those spoilers and those set leaks, you'll have the whole movie eventually, right?
And that's the joke. That's the joke that we have said. That's the joke a lot of other people have said, is that we've seen the movie already because of this. It kind of kills the magic of it.
And it can kill a lot of momentum, because as we know, sets, movies, or costumes and movies, if they're not on the actual screen with all the effects and finishing moves, it can look completely different. It can look great, but you just remember in the back of your head, oh, I don't want to see that because it looks like crap in that bad photo somebody took with their iPhone 3 in a back alley.
Sure. I mean, it's the same with games, though, when you have people who leak out like pre-alpha, alpha material and stuff like that. And everybody's like, oh my God, it looks like crap. I don't want to play that game.
Exactly. I remember when Miyamoto was last year, he was talking about Star Fox. They didn't have a developer yet. They were showing, they said, footage that looked like an N64 game. And people were talking about that. But I'm like, the game is not going to be like that. And it's going to put a bad taste in somebody's mouth. But that, and that's actually a good point. On our podcast, we've changed to be full-on spoilers, because we got so frustrated with ourselves because we couldn't really have a good dialogue about things.
Sure.
And we've warned people about it now, so there's going to be spoilers. Come back when you get a chance, but it limits the conversation if we've watched something and we can't talk about it. I mean, we can say it was good, great. Nobody wants to care. Nobody cares if I said something's good or bad. They want to hear, why Todd is, hating on something.
Well, as someone who has been a guest on your show, part of that is also because Todd gets behind on episodes.
You can't spoil me on the episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
but I can spoil you.
That is true.
That's double standard. I love double standards, by the way.
Yeah, and look, man, you do you, boo boo. You do you.
Give me some.
So, was there anything that's been leaked for 2015's E3, Todd, that actually kind of upset you? Like you were like, I was prepared to watch this. I was prepared to watch E3 and see this.
Not at this point, because nothing I've seen really leaked yet has not been a big surprise.
Gotcha.
And that's, I think, one of the problems. When a game's successful, we should really expect a sequel. Dishonored did really well. We should expect that. Activision owns the licensed Transformers. We should expect another Transformers game. They're moneymakers, things like that. We expect more information on Smash Brothers, because that's Nintendo's cash cow, because what other game are people playing on the Wii U?
Sure.
So at this point, I haven't seen anything like, oh my God, that ruins it for me. Like I said, Sony's been close to the vest, close to the chest on all those that details. I'm going to the PlayStation Experience tomorrow night. And so far, maybe things will get leaked a little closer in, because they have to actually update trademarks and things like that right before.
I expect live tweeting from secret friends while you're at the PlayStation Experience.
That is if my phone carries a charge and I have a good signal.
All I'm saying is I want to see. I'm completely blitzed at the PlayStation Experience. God, I want to kiss this guy that's wearing a Kratos shirt. That should be a tweet.
Last year, I went to it last year, and the feed actually at the theater was so choppy. They lost connection. It was frustrating because you guys that were watching it online had a great experience. So
I did actually. I replayed it because I really liked their intro song to it. It was really cool.
Oh, fantastic. You know, they do a great job, and that's what's exciting about E3. It is a video game Christmas. It's fantastic. You get excited, and I mean, there's nothing else like it.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, our little fireside chat about these leaks, what we know from the games that we know that are going to be there, right? What surprises do you think they're going to be, Todd?
Well, it's funny. I'm expecting Nintendo to go whole hog on Amiibo, and that means that we're going to see Amiibo integration in a lot of software that's not theirs. Third party, Skylanders, Lego Dimensions, Disney Infinity. Getting a Mario into those games with an Amiibo could be huge. Will they do it? Will they have enough Amiibos? Will Kiku, you be able to, take all of the Amiibos that you find and just, sell them for, to make you $1 million? Probably. But yeah, I think that will be the big thing that we'll see from a Nintendo, from Sony. I would love to see some old properties come back. I would really like to see Medieval come back. I think that would be a lot of fun.
What about Microsoft?
Microsoft, I want Rare to come out strong. I know Microsoft is not known to be the most family-friendly console, but seeing Rare go back to doing what they do really well with maybe a Jet Force Gemini, to the extreme version, where they're wearing like, bandanas and cool tats and, neck tattoos. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Right? Yeah, we'd love to see that.
So you want Army of Two Jet Knight Gemini?
Jet Force Gemini. Yeah, exactly. The bros in space doing the bro thing.
I don't know if they're gonna do that. That might take away from the bro mandoing of Gears of War.
There's no bro to go around.
There's no bro to go around.
It's a brodeo.
It's a brodeo. I like that. I'm using that. It is a brodeo. I like that a lot. Any surprises from Square?
I would love to see them go back to what was that series? It was the Little Samurai on the PlayStation.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Yes, I would love to see that. Maybe what was the other one they had? They had the fighting game. Was it not Einhander? That was their shooter game. But then they had another. It was a fighting game on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah, where you could fight as the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, Cloud Pod. I would love to see them do more cool, fun, quirky things like they used to.
Well, they're definitely not going to do Tabal #2, my friend.
Which came with what? The weird demo of a game or something that came with it?
Well, no, Tabal #1 was a game that came with the Final Fantasy VII demo.
That's right.
And everybody bought it. And, I mean, Tabal wasn't bad, but, I mean, you were playing
It was an
Final
early
Fantasy
polygonal
VII.
fighter.
Yeah. I actually think Square has something up their sleeve. I know everybody's saying they got out of Nintendo's way, but they're right there, like ready to close the show, and that's a big deal. I wouldn't. I know if I didn't have a strong lineup, I wouldn't want to close E3. And I think they're going, and then somebody else is going, so they're one of the last two to go. I think Square is going to drop some knowledge on some people, and everyone's going to be like, "What?"
They're going to go back, and are they going to go back in the catalog of Enix, Eidos, back in Square's catalog, or are they going to do something totally new?
I think I think Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15 is what they really need to revolve everything around, and I think those games are close to, if not already, completed, and that's going to be part of that's going to be something big. But I think they've got some other stuff planned. You don't, like I said, you don't agree to, part of being the last showing if you don't have anything to show.
It's such a tragic loss that we had, 2 Kingdom Hearts game on PS2. We had how many Final Fantasy games on PS2, and then literally what we got on PS3 was considered kind of a tragedy. I mean, they lost a whole generation of excitement.
13 definitely did not do them any favors. That is for sure.
Kind of sad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they had 14 out on the PS3, and 14 is amazing. It's one of my favorite MMOs of all time, even though I don't play it anymore. We all know why. But they need something for the mass populace. And let me tell you something. After playing 15's demo, it's for the masses, and it's even for the true Final Fantasy players at heart too. So it's going to be good. But I think they have something up their sleeve. I think Microsoft has something huge up their sleeve, and I don't think anybody's prepared for it.
They've got lots of money.
It's not just that they got lots of money, man. They pushed 3 of their biggest games that people are talking about to Gamescom, and didn't try to rush or force anything to come out. What do they have up their sleeve? What are you going to show? Because if you were scared that you would have nothing to show, you would rush something to show. You would, right? But they were like, no, they're going to go to Gamescom. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well, we know they're going to have new IP. They've talked about that. Most likely Rare will have something to talk about. What else are they going to fill up the time with? Exactly. What are they going to fill up the time with? It's not going to be Connect talk. Connect is dead to them. They don't care less. So they got to talk about something. Phil Spencer has talked about games. So you're right. I think there's going to be lots of big things coming out of Microsoft.
And that's what's funny is the buzz going into E3 was not Microsoft at all, and it still isn't right now. I mean, they go on tomorrow. We know literally nothing about what they're doing besides Gears of War. We know nothing about what Sony's doing, but Sony hasn't. I can't imagine anything that Sony's going to do past showing more Uncharted 4. We already talked about their exclusivity with Call of Duty, with Destiny and whatnot. And that's the thing is that why did Microsoft let the exclusivity drop for Call of Duty? That's a big deal.
And I think the main reason is because they see the steady decline. Nothing lasts forever. I think they want to fully focus on Halo because Halo lost its shine. Nobody played Halo after, Halo 4 after Call of Duty launched back in the day. So I think that's maybe where they want to show a show of faith on Halo.
But they also have to have something to replace it.
Which would be, potentially, hey, look at Gears of War. You get early access to the Gears of War beta.
But Gears of War is an exclusive. Well, I'm talking cross-platform. There has to be something coming out that they're going to announce at this E3 that people are going to be like, oh, they got rid of Call of Duty. Who cares? Who cares about that exclusivity? I'm happy about this.
Yeah, there's not much else out there that's a big enough gun. I mean, Assassin's Creed, they've typically not been. I mean, they had the Unity deal. Do enough people care about Unity or Assassin's Creed now after the crap job that was Unity? Is there enough there?
Well, you've got the new one coming out that looks interesting. That even looks interesting to me, who hasn't played Assassin's Creed since
Syndicate, I think, right? Assassin's Creed in London.
Looks interesting, but there's going to be some announcements, and I think some people's socks are going to get rocked.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, they've got studios. I mean, Crackdown, we haven't heard anything about that game in forever.
Crackdown moved to Gamescom. That's the other one.
God, that's a good question. I mean, if they've got an hour and a half to talk, I'm waiting to listen.
All I'm saying is if Kingdom Hearts 3 or Fallout 4 is Xbox exclusive, I'm going to laugh the entire rest of the day. Just the entire rest of the day.
Well, Phil Spencer take on the Peter Moore tattoos. Roll up his sleeve and he shows, I don't know, Kingdom Hearts 3, Mickey with Keyblade.
Not even that, all right? Because, everyone brings that up. Josh brought that up too. The one that I brought up was that Phil Spencer was going to be like, here's your Gears of War bitches, and he's going to drop the mic and just walk off the stage because it got leaked and spoiled. But I actually think that if one of those properties is exclusive to Xbox, I think he's going to walk out and be like, how the fuck you like me now? And drop the mic and just walk off.
I mean, I remember when, which Final Fantasy was it a big deal when that came out? Was it 14?
That it was exclusive to PS3?
Well, no, that they said that we're also now on Xbox. Which Final Fantasy was that?
Oh,
Was that
11.
Oh, it was 11. Okay, yeah, because I mean that's been thing. They've basically wooed pretty much everybody over to Xbox now. I mean, there's not a lot of holdouts in that area, and it would be a big boon to get an exclusive because PlayStation got Street Fighter V. So maybe say let's go after and get somebody else that is a Japanese favorite and put it on Microsoft's console.
Sure.
And they only have to do it in the U.S. because they know they have no presence in Asia. So,
Well, if they do, see, the thing is that's when Kingdom Hearts 3 would come into play, because all of a sudden you would have a boom in purchases of the Xbox One in Asia.
But I mean, quite honestly, does that matter? I mean, we know the Japanese demographic is shrinking so much. I mean, the PlayStation 4 has finally picked up, but I mean, it's been pretty limited. But in the U.S., the Hearts and Mind of Kingdom Hearts, I think that's the biggest Square property in the U.S. I mean, above everything else. I mean, it's Kingdom Hearts 3. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 probably did better than the last couple of Final Fantasies, right?
No.
No, really?
No. 1.13 was on both systems.
Oh, that's true.
2, a lot of people would shrink away from the Disney aspect of it. Like, oh, it's too kiddie. I don't want to play it. It's too fantasy. Blah 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 blah.
And it's an action RPG as well, not the standard turn-based things like that.
Which you would think would draw more people in, though.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, Kingdom Hearts always sells well. It's a system, it's a system seller for PlayStation, and PlayStation fans are huge fans of Kingdom Hearts. But bringing it straight over to the Xbox and just keeping it locked down there would be big news.
It's funny. We have not seen Nintendo do anything really with Square. It's kind of sad, really, considering the home of Final Fantasy was always on Nintendo until the PlayStation.
Well, you know how that got ruined, right?
Yeah, the CD-ROM drive versus the cartridge.
Cartridge, yep.
Yeah.
Square was ready to move on to CGI and FMV, and Nintendo was like, well, we can do that on cartridge. And they're like, no, you can't.
We can make a lot more money off of cartridges than we can off of CD-ROMs.
Yep. But that didn't happen. Well, anyway, Todd, anything else you'd like to say about E3 before we wrap this bad boy up? Because this has been basically the Final Fantasy Power Hour.
Well, I will say this. Get a lot of rest. Eat. Hydrate. Stand firm. If you're going to call in sick to work, have a good excuse. And make sure your internet bill is paid.
Fair enough. From me, Kiku, and from Todd, from Secret Friends Unite, you know where you can find them. You guys keep it nerdy and watch out for those leaks. Get you wet.